Okay, I played Remnant from the Ashes. Unfortunately, I caught it nearly 2 years after it came out, so I wasn't necessarily a day one player, and at that time I wasn't able to fully embrace the hype factor that comes with the anticipation of new games coming out. But from what I played of Remnant from the Ashes was memorable. It was, I'd say, definitely unique. I'd never played a game quite like it before. So I said to myself, when the next one comes out, if there's another one, I'll be sure to keep my eyes open for it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, lucky for you and I, Remnant 2 is set to release July 25th of this month. I am stoked. It's time for something new, a new game. And Diablo 4, no offense, didn't really speak to me, but now Remnant 2 does. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Be Righteous from Identity. I cover builds, guides, gameplay, and discussions. If that's something you're interested in, then don't hesitate to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to support me through my journey. Now, if you don't know what Remnant is, in general, first of all, it stems from a bestseller, which the first game was. It's the first time, as I know, like I stated before, that it combines some of the best elements in gaming that I know of. Third-person looter shooter, RPG, Souls-like. I mean, what can get better than that, right? It's developed by Gunfire Games. Now, the only game that these devs made previously that I know of, which had a huge impact on the gaming community, is Darksiders 3. I'm honestly not familiar with any of the other games besides Remnants from the Ashes and Darksiders 3, but Gunfire Games have made a name for themselves, and Remnant 2 looks to be very promising. Remnant 2 is set in a post-apocalyptic world that's been ravaged by an otherworldly force known as the Root. This alien entity has decimated the planet, leaving it in ruins. As a player, your primary objective is to embark on a perilous journey to various breathtaking realms and engage in intense battles against Root's monstrous creatures. Now, you know as well as I do, if you're a Souls-like player, how insane and how crazy the boss fights are. I mean, just the regular enemies will have you on the edge of your seat and have you frustratingly tossing your controller or whatever else you got. I don't go to those extremes, but you get my point, right? Your ultimate goal is to eradicate the Root once and for all, bringing hope and salvation to the shattered world. I don't know what it is about post-apocalyptic settings and games that make it way more engaging, but I can't wait to dive in. You don't have to go at it alone either. It's a multiplayer, co-op, and there are tons of varying ways to play. What I like about it is that at the beginning, you have the opportunity to choose an archetype. Now, this is something that's been introduced to Remnant 2, and some are pretty upset about this, saying that this, along with a few other changes, will limit the build making potential, because this choice of selecting an archetype determines your starting loadout, weapons, weapon mods, and armor traits, which in before you didn't have to feel like, restrictive or pigeonholed into one type of archetype of character that offers limited resources or weapons or whatever you want to call it. And in general, this is another reason why those who love this type of genre should pick this game up. The builds will not be as limited as you think. Let me briefly explain. And this is not a video going too in-depth on build making itself. I'll make a separate video going into more detail about that. This is just more of an introductory video letting you know that I'll be covering this game on my channel, and I want to give you an overall synopsis of what it is. But one aspect of Remnant from the Ashes that many players didn't really like had to do with in-game. Once you got to a certain point, you were able to literally be a god and destroy everything with the ability to have all mods at your disposal, with no restrictions in the realm of build crafting, uniqueness, a way to strategically build so that there was a reason why this or that build felt powerful, a reason to flex to your friends. Everyone was strong, which didn't really make it special in any way. The 3-piece set bonuses, I won't say were restrictive, but they did help with this kind of power level fantasy, which was, I'd say, a little underwhelming. Well, in Remnant 2, they're going with a somewhat new approach, as you know. They're doing away with the set bonuses on gear, adding another slot so that there are 4 instead of 3. And because the gear has so much to do with the weight and being over encumbered, this aspect is just better in my opinion, because you can now spread out the gear in a way that's more versatile, so you can make more hybrid builds. Those who know me know that that's what I specialize in. But these carry with it varying playstyles without having to worry about how to do it efficiently as much. Now, I did say that they did away with the set bonuses on gear, but don't worry, there's something more the devs added to help compensate for that in the jewelry department. These have a massive effect on your build. Before, there was only 1 necklace and 2 rings. Now they've added 2 additional rings to be slotted in. Jewelry in Remnant is one of the aspects that really help to mold your build into a playstyle you'll enjoy. Usually on games where they have charms and rings, the changes or effects that they have are marginal at best. Remnant is one of the few games where these charms and rings have a huge effect on your build, so adding 2 more slots will definitely have an impact on your build, and this will give you more possibilities, especially since they removed the set bonuses on gear. There are still set bonuses that can be unlocked, but they stem from a different source, because they didn't necessarily completely do away with the bonuses. They've been changed, and now they're called mutators, which can be slotted in as mods for your weapons. And get this, even your melee weapons, because remember before you weren't able to add mods to your melee weapons, and these will activate as set bonuses, which will definitely create some unique builds. Can you imagine the possibilities? This is why the build diversity will be better in Remnant 2 despite the changes, because they didn't take away from it really. They kept all of what we had from the original, but just added to it. Now we have the opportunity to just focus on our playstyles more than ever without worrying about being so pigeonholed into being too over encumbered or just a bit more restricted. We don't know too much about mutators, but the game is right around the corner, and I'm sure we'll know soon enough. I can't wait to dive all the way into this adventure. I'm also glad that I'm getting into this at launch instead of 2 years later. I appreciate you watching to the end. And if builds, guides, gameplay, and insightful discussions are something you're interested in, then don't hesitate to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more to come in the future. I'll catch you in the next one. Be right out.